You can just read for 2 minutes so that it will be comfortable for you.
Okay.
Done.
Mhm.
So in general it is just a scheduler, right? How we can work with the scheduler is we have to create an object on top of any select statement or any insert statement or any kind of object which you want to schedule accordingly. So tasks in Snowflake are generally used to automate and schedule the business process, right? And it can execute a single SQL statement, or you can execute your SP, store procedure, or
Mhm.
as well as we can use any scripting for any procedure logic using Snowflake scripting kind of things. So generally task can be combined with uh, your Snowflake streams and for making the continuous ETL process or workflow to whatever the changes has happened on the uh, table, that is the streams table.
Mhm.
So generally it has simple statement like create or replace task, and task name you can give it like create replace a table, so you can just make it as create table, create task name. And there is some observable idea was like how we make this task um, using which warehouse is the next understanding. That is the very important, how you are managing this task via passing some warehouse in it or without passing the warehouse in it. That is the different idea which you can see in the next line. Okay, that is not in the next PPT, but we'll check that. So in that case, before going into the task syntax, we have some fundamental DDL statement, that is creating the task using the create task. If you want to alter the task, you have to go with the task having alter statement,
Mhm.
and the drop task and describe task and show task. Most important is show task always. It provides a list of information which includes the list of task as well, and according to where this task has been created under which role and databases.
Mhm.
Okay, sometimes suppose you want to see um, the task created on what, right? So then you want, or you should run a describe task for like your table, you are describing your table, so that contains some column information with the data type and other informations, having the primary key and all that. Describing the task is also looks like it will give you the metadata and who is the owner of this task, right?
Mhm.
So uh, in real world, I don't know that idea is good enough or not. um, when the business is having good amount of frequency data or having good amount of business, they don't like to execute the tasks or use the task as a scheduler properly in the data shaping world. Why? Because I have worked on at least 2 3 project with a different client, I have worked only one client was using the task directly, because they were I understood that they were not having that much amount of data and that much of investment to use the airflow or use any other scheduler as per the market availability. So in that business, I saw that they were using the task. So that idea I understood, like, okay, if the business is very high volume and having big size of frequency every minute, every day, or something like that, or volume is also high level, and data or investment, they are not worried about, if they are not worried about on the investment of scheduling the task, having their flow and separate user, so that means they are not going for the task itself. Means somewhere task is not completely reliable for the big size of company or business requirement. They are using the Snowflake, but they are not using the task fully. Idea is simple. They have the investment, they have the idea of different scheduler. That's why task is not properly used in that business. It is just for the layer of business and size of the business dependency. Okay, sometimes in the same business, the task has been used for POC, task has been used for non uh, priority data. Maybe separate data, separate streams are going on, separate pipelines is executing some data which is very not so much easy for them. So in that case, they are not using the airflow because airflow is costlier versus task. So in that cases, task is coming into the picture when the business is not investing into the airflow for a particular streams data. Okay, particular piece of databases or something. Example, customers data, customers feedback. Again, I can take the example of customers feedback. Sometimes some customers feedback is not important. So if there is a one database which is coming to a business and they are having the customers feedback, and that feedback is not highly recommended or not important for the business, they are only just putting or saving the data in somewhere. In future they will come into these databases, they will do it, they will check it. So in that cases, task is doing all the process for them, and they are using the task for them, but not airflow in that cases, right? So just for understand, like, when to use, when not to use, it depends. Business criteria, business logic, business understanding, it's not always like task is available for any every business. They can't go outside of the task, not like that. They can go for any kind of the scheduler as per the market availability, maybe free or maybe Python or maybe anything. So it means task is just optional for them.
Okay.
Okay, next is, to create a task we need to be defining the some parameters in the create statement. When you create the task, always it will create in the suspended mode. Simple. When you create the create using the create statement, by default it creates as in suspended mode. We need to resume the task by having the ownership of the privileges of resuming this task. So the question is, if you have the privileges of creating the task in Snowflake, and if you don't have the ownership of object or ownership of that task to run the task or execute the task, means that you will be not able or not allowed to run the task, the current task which you have created. Means you are the owner, you are creating the task, but you may be not having the privileges of having the ownership of that task. That is the separate point of discussion, right? So means that only creating task is not like you may or may not, or you have to, you are owner of that execution. Means we need to have the ownership of the privilege. Question comes like, if you have created the task, are you sure you are going to execute the task by any no stopper or something? Do we need extra something like that? They will hide the real work. They will ask you if you know or not. So you, in that case, you will say yes. If I have the ownership, then only I can run the given task or created task. Only the creation of the task is not enough to run the task
Okay.
or resume the task. We should have the ownership of that.
So even if I'm not the owner, I can create the task, but
Yeah,
I cannot run.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so in that case, there is a two piece in the parameter. One is you have to provide the warehouse, or you may not providing the warehouse. Question: what is the serverless task in Snowflake, and what is non-serverless task in the Snowflake? If you are providing the warehouse in the task, when you creating the task, you have to provide the task name, sorry, warehouse name. Warehouse name, if you have created or given into the task, that means that task is called user managed task. That is not serverless task. When the task is called serverless, when you are not providing the name of the warehouse in the task creation, means that Snowflake will provide the warehouse name or compute resources for this task by that way, managing the Snowflake, you can say Snowflake managed kind of task you are going to create it. So in that case, this task will become a serverless task. Sometimes suggestion, last bottom line is saying that verify the SQL executes as expected before you create the task. So when you are passing the SQL in the task, suggestion is that before passing the statement into the task, you can run the same SQL statement separately. If that statement is perfectly fine, then put that statement into the task. Otherwise your task will fail after some times, or you will get to come to check the task is why the task is not working. So better idea is, when you are creating the task, you may have the select statement, you may have the insert statement. Before going into the real, you just check that a statement is working or not. Okay, that's just a suggestion, not the a real one. How we can make the task? This is user managed task because of having the warehouse name in it. Warehouse equal to warehouse name, and the schedule equal to 5 minutes. I will tell you what is this two mean. Two words are there. When you are creating using the create or replace task name and passing the warehouse keyword equal to your warehouse name, means that this is user managed. You are not making this task serverless. Schedule is the keyword when you want to run this task, at what and when or what time of interval. 5 minutes interval. Always put a minute, not the minutes, not plural. Only 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes. After that, you are having the statement, maybe insert into or select a statement or what kind of script you are going to write it. It depends on Snowflake understanding and where and what business yours you have received any message from the business like that. If warehouse parameter is not defined, means if you're not passing this warehouse, then the task is created with the Snowflake managed compute resources by default. Automatically that task will become Snowflake managed compute resources and it will become a serverless task. What is the drawback if we are passing the warehouse or if we are not passing the warehouse? Both has some drawbacks and benefits.
Mm.
If we are passing the warehouse equal to something, that means task will execute on this particular size of the warehouse. You may have the size of extra small, small, medium, or whatever you are passing. That warehouse name is depends, that warehouse has been created with the what size. So suppose compute warehouse is having the a small size. Example, it's I know this compute WH is a learning warehouse, but suppose your warehouse name is analytics warehouse, and you know that analytics warehouse is having the extra small or small size. So means whenever the task is going to execute, and if the load is not really required to consume the small size or large size of warehouse, you are not saying that key you should only use the small size. You are saying that you have to use this warehouse, and if this warehouse is large size, your task will consume the large warehouse for small piece of work.
Mm-hmm.
So that is a drawback. It will always run on your large size warehouse.
Right.
If you are not passing the warehouse equal to compute warehouse, something means you wanted to create this task serverless. In that case, Snowflake will manage to start the warehouse with the minimum size of the warehouse according to the load of the statement or assumption of previous run. Okay, so it will only enhance or uh, go into the next level of warehouse when it seems or server or Snowflake understood there is a requirement of new warehouse or not, or is it fine.
Mm.
So it will increase the size of or next available warehouse in your Snowflake, then only this warehouse will be replaced by internal serverless understanding. Serverless means you are not passing. If your serverless is started with a very small or means extra small size of warehouse, and suddenly that task is getting or taking too much time on that process, serverless is smart enough or Snowflake is smart enough, they will provide the next level of warehouse for your process. So you are free of passing the size of the warehouse in what time or what not. So that is a serverless is important, very important when you don't know the upcoming or future load, or you are not sure about the load
Mm-hmm.
or process, then best is to create the serverless. And if you know the process, you know the size, or you know your daily work, and unless or you don't want to go with the serverless because you know your task is fine for you and every time you know that is sure and ensuring this is not a big size of process, then you can make it extra small always, or depends your thought passing the warehouse for task.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, next.
One question I have
Yeah,
regarding that.
yeah.
So, mm, when we define the warehouse that I have to use this particular warehouse, and the load of the data is less, so it ultimately going to affect the credits that we
Yes,
have.
yes, yes.
Okay. So even if the load is less and we are using the larger size of warehouse,
Hmm.
still the charges will be according to the large size of warehouse.
Yes,
So that is not optimal use of the resources.
correct.
Okay.
You are saying simple like you have only one passenger and you are not going via bike. You wanted hire the bus.
Mm,
So bus is okay for you. You once you loading on or boarding on a bus and driving the bus and occupying all the fuel.
mm,
In 10 minutes they will say okay, this is the charges for you. So that is what they want, a full load of the bus, then the distribution will be okay, okay, because you have a big size of task and big size of passenger, so that means that price will be distributed,
mm,
right? So similarly, once the load is really not uh, good, or the business or assumption of services of this record, inserting slate and whatever, then means best is to go the serverless size, right?
mm, mm.
Also in this parameter there are a lot of things are I will explain in the notepad.
Okay.
Next, this is one line for you. User task managed initial warehouse size equal to extra small. You are creating the serverless. See the difference. Serverless may be sometimes unavailability of extra small. They will go for the big size of server,
Mm,
right? In that case, your serverless will consume the credits because the extra small size of warehouse from your business was not available in that time. So what will do the serverless? They will check the availability of that warehouse and process that in the next level or available warehouse. Okay, so smart enough, you are saying that anyway I'm making this a serverless, but Snowflake, can you please start every time with the extra small? You are saying
mm,
that user task managed initial work house size equal to means you have given the instruction not to go large size if the warehouse is not available. Don't try to go into that way. Try to go, if not available, wait and start with the extra small. So once it is said user task manage initial warehouse is extra small, it will go, Snowflake will check only the extra small size and it will manage the insert a statement. It will not start like a large statement, a large warehouse, because your instructions to the Snowflake was start with extra small always. So it will take that instructions for this insert statement, and also it will give you the flexibility that if this warehouse is not enough for this statement, then only serverless will go for the next level of warehouse size. What you said in this, you said user task manage initial warehouse, so it will start with the extra small. If the load is increases in the between the process, then they will check the next available warehouse and take that to run your next statement.
mm.
Okay, So you're saying that compute resources managed by the Snowflake instead of user managed virtual warehouses and automatically scaled up or down by Snowflake. Although you are also saying that it start with extra small. So it depends. Snowflake strategy, how they will scaled up or down on the workload. No idea behind the scene. It depends on Snowflake faith only. Business, they are trying to make a more business on it. They are saying that you can use the serverless, but you may become a more smart than Snowflake once you know the process how they will do it. Then you can make it like always pass extra small and start your work. Otherwise, maybe Snowflake will go like large large warehouse to start, and later they will reduce the down, scale down. So sometimes if the business is down, they will start with a large warehouse for your any of a statement, and later they will give you the credits. Okay, this is the consumptions on that, and that case in that area the warehouse was not available, maybe, right? So best is you can instead, okay, don't try to with go with the large, always try with this extra small, and let's check if the small is not working for my load, then go for the next level, then you can say a scaled up.
Mhm. Uh,
Yeah,
Minor doubt I have
yeah,
here.
yeah.
So, if we define that extra small, for initially it should use the extra small one, and if we don't have the extra small, does my while executing this query, is it going to fail or
No, no, it will wait.
okay?
See, it is again a waiting time. Process time takes minimum or maximum wait time, lobby area. So it will take hardly few minutes, maybe you have to check the documents. Few minutes they will check if the extra small warehouse is available or not. If not, then it will not fail the task, it will go to the next level of warehouse and process your execution. It will try with the extra small always, but it depends on availability. If not, will take up scaled up.
Okay.
Next, if you have seen this schedule equal to 5 minutes, it's not as real world. We have to pass some real cases like schedule 5 minutes, not really good. Schedule in 1 hour, not really good. Schedule in 10 hours, not really good. Means you have to give more schedule position or schedule execution statement. So for the that kind of cases, maybe you are trying to run on the Sunday or weekday or interval of 2 hours, interval of 5 hours, the schedule is not enough, right? 5 minutes is not enough, we have to pass some more parameters in it. So that comes the cron job style, scheduling a
Mm.
Snowflake having the cron job. So Snowflake tasks are not event based, instead a task runs on a schedule. The Snowflake task engine has a cron and non-cron variant scheduling the mechanism. How to make it schedule with the cron job is, you will make all this same as warehouse you are passing or not, it depends on your statement here. You can remove, then becomes a serverless. If you are not removing or passing the warehouse equal to some warehouse, that means it is a user defined or user managed warehouse. Schedule equal to using cron, and there are 5 star placeholder and the region of the time. So maybe UTC or America or any regional or a country name you have to pass for it. So what this 5 star means, I have put it here all the 5 star. The first 5 star is the first star is after the using cron is the keyword. Using cron you have to pass inside of the single quote. So once the using cron is done, after a space you have to pass star 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 and then regional time zone. The first star you have to remove once you want to run it. So suppose you want to run every 1 minute, so give 1. So every 1 minute of every hours it will execute. Okay.
Okay.
Then hours, if you are trying to put the hours, so second placeholder is for hours.
Mm-hmm.
Day of the month, say for first day or third day or seventh day or whatever the day. So if you are passing multiple day of the month, then you have to pass like 1 hyphen 7, means first and 7.
Same. Okay.
If you are passing uh, first and L,
Mm-hmm.
so means that first day of that month and last day of the month,
Okay.
right?
Mm-hmm.
L indicates the last for any
Last.
of placeholder. If you are putting the L in the month parameter, means that the last month of that year, last month, January, December. So suppose you are passing 1 hyphen 12 or January hyphen December, both are applicable, means your task will run on the month of January and again on December, in December,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
As well as December on what date. So if you are passing the L here after this December word, L means the last date of December. Okay. Again, day of the week, you have 0 to 6 as a digit number, you can pass as a digit, or three letters of uh, Sunday Monday word as a three abbreviation of the day. So Saturday, Sunday, or L. So everywhere you can put L when you are decided to run on the last day, last month, last day of week.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So these are the placeholder you change or try in your practice to run at least one task using the cron job.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Next is job or task. You have one task, maybe you want more tasks to create or run after the first task automatic. So suppose you have a parent task P1 and you have a second task that is called C1. P1 is a parent, C1 is a child. C1 should run only after the P1 successfully executed. So this is what the next slide is saying. It is Snowflake task tree. You can create a multiple task, as well as you can make a root of or a task tree as like this. Suppose you have a task A as well as B, C, D, E, F, G, H, like that. So you made this task A as a parent, suppose. Then C and B only execute after the task A successfully executed. So it will give a kind of a success run or internal message. There is no outside or any message to view. But yeah, task B will have the statement like this statement. You have a create a statement after warehouse or schedule. You instead of schedule you will have afterward, after.
Mm-hmm.
So after what, after equal to task A.
Okay.
See, instead of schedule keyword in the tree, schedule will be removed for the child task, because child task is having the dependency of the parents, so it will not run separately having the schedule keyword. It will run on some dependency of parents. So instead of having the task schedule equal to 5 minutes, it will have task after equal to task A. Same task C will have one keyword, that is after equal to task A.
It is going to spin up exactly after the task A has been completed.
Yes.
Okay.
So how to make this task, you can check one line here is you can have only one root task and all child tasks are linked to the root task based on the task dependency. How to make this dependency and root is this: make sure the root task is suspended. Before creating any child task, your child task is having the after customer insert 2, means you have the parent of this task insert 3. So insert 3 is child and insert 2 is a parent, correct?
Hmm.
Now customer insert 2 is a parent. Before making this task statement, your customer underscore insert 2 should be suspended, because this is a parent should be suspended. Then only you can create the child task. Otherwise it will give you the error saying that please suspend the parent task, then create the child task before creating the child task, like that. Some message, meaningful message will come when you create a child task, and if the parent task is in the running mode, then child task will not be created, and it will return out, it will throw the error saying that parent task is in the running mode, suspend it first and then make the child task. It was like child task creation fails because of parent task is not suspended. Okay, if you want to suspend the task, you just run a simple statement: alter task name, and whatever the you have two options: either you want to suspend it or you want to resume it. Suspend when you are going to create a some child task and dependency creations. So once you are having the dependency on each, you have to suspend the parent and resume it after this task has been created. Okay,
Yes.
how to check dependent or what to check with the task is you have select a star from table information schema dot task dependent task name equal to task name, which is insert or something, recursive false. What it will return is it will return all the previous parents, I mean the dependency of check which task is having the parent or not. You don't know about the task parents or not, so if you are going to run execute it, it fails because of saying that there is a task, parent task, and you don't know about that task. So
Mhm.
run this command and check if there is some task and recursive, so it will return some message checking the dependency task. What is next? Streams. We'll talk the streams in next day. Before that, we will do the practical on task, and uh, we'll try to include the task and streams in tomorrow's session.
Hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
Before I go to close this session, I would suggest one example before running that. Say for as we discussed one in non-recorded uh, time. So suppose we are going to create a task, and say for my uh, a raw task, a raw table task, a raw table task. Kind of just don't take a complete word is perfect. and you said it is user defined, so you're passing warehouse equal to your warehouse name, say for uh, analytics. WH. And when this task should run, that is what triggering message. You are saying when what? System dollar strem string underscore, what is that? I have that has, yes, has data is the keyword. System dollar stream has data. You can understand this is like a single English. When system has stream has data, which
Mhm.
streams? You are saying that this stream. So you are passing the stream name. You said there is a streams, uh, my streams. Say for my raw stream. You said this is my streams already in the system in Snowflake, and I want tasks should only run when raw stream really has a new data arrival. Otherwise, don't run the task. Oh, no, simple. Try to
Mhm.
understand, Gaurav.
Yes.
You have made the task at 1 day intervals, right? Or 10 hours interval, or you can say 1 hour interval. What will do the task? Unnecessary task will check the time and run.
Mhm.
Correct, no?
Right.
It will not check anything what you have in the system, what you have not in the system, what you have the table or table is having the data. They will not check anything. You have
Right.
given the instructions to run, so they will go by having or without having data. It
Mhm.
will it will just like a train is on schedule without passenger. That train should go.
Right.
Bus is having schedule time. That bus should start on time without any passenger.
Mhm.
If the passenger is there, then only the bus should go. That means there is a fruit. The
Mhm.
task in system, our task will consume the credits of warehouse, right? Why
Yes.
should go unnecessary run? So means that our task should understand when to run. Even though we have a schedule keyword, right?
Right.
Schedule of 1 hour, schedule of what? Schedule of cron. Whatever, that is the schedule. Means you have instructed, you have to run the task. And you suppose there is no data found in the left hand side, or whatever you have given in the system statement, there is no data, unnecessary run, consuming there is a consumption credits and warehouse will consumed by this task. So that means there is a task, you can run the task on streams, and the streams may stand on anywhere. It
Mhm.
may stand after the landing also. Okay, so
Mhm.
when system stream has the data, my streams will will come with a new data, then start with. If it is a new data, then insert into where? Insert, because your stream is having some new data, and that data is going to insert into your downstream table. You can say downstream. This is not stream; it is a table.
Mhm.
Okay, I am saying just downstream table. Say for um, employee, downstream
Mhm.
employee table employee, and from where you are inserting into this table. So you are saying inserting this data into table employees and selecting this information from where? From the same string which you have said, uh, my raw stream. Okay,
Mhm.
that is good.
Right.
So insert on into the next table from the my raw stream data table only when they have the data.
Mhm.
So your task is now fruitful, that saying that okay, once it is having some data into the raw table, then only our task should execute or should start the running.
Right.
Otherwise schedule cron, it will not check anything, it will just go run, go run, go run.
Mhm.
Okay,
Yes.
so next is I'm closing the session here.